Okay, and I'm back, and I'm going to start with number 5. Number 5 is Invincible Iron Man. Matt Fraction, Salvador Roca have been doing a great job. From issue 1, I was on board. The first trade I read, I was completely on board. I've been reading the series in issues. World's Most Wanted was very interesting throughout. This is also one of the few things I enjoyed about Dark Reign. Fraction just kept it interesting. He got all the characters in Iron Man. The thought of what he did to Tony and how he's getting less intelligent made sense because he needed to protect the files of the Superhero Initiative Act. If Norman Osborn got his hold on those names, he would probably destroy all the heroes. And how cleverly he's downgrading his armor to work for his slowly simplifying brain works. Giving Pepper the armor was awesome. And how it ended, how it all ended made perfect sense. Was very clever. I'm gonna pick up trades. Stark Disassemble is, I think, in part 2 of it so far. I'm gonna really enjoy this series in the future as I am enjoying it now. Number 4 is Superman Secret Origins. When I heard about this, I was kind of at odds. There was one thing I really didn't like was it was a retelling of Superman's origin, and I felt it was kind of annoying. But I let that go because I understand why they need to keep redoing the origin. At least every decade, at least after a decade, they should do it. I feel. Because he's been around for 70 years. You need to change some stuff up. It makes sense. And then I heard Gary Frank art, Jeff Johns writing, and the fact that each issue is kind of like its own little individual story. It really gives you more breathing room. It's very interesting to read. Jeff Johns, I think the first issue really gave me a very clear depiction of Clark's life in Smallville. I was a little shocked they didn't show you anything from Krypton, but I think that was kind of retreaded a lot. I feel that's been retreaded too much, so I'm kind of glad they stuck away from it. I love how they've brought him back, how they did a story with him in the Legion, which I loved because I love the Legions of Superheroes story arc that Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did in Action Comics, which I've reviewed. And I enjoyed the recent issue that came out where it's Superman in Metropolis. That was very that showed you what Metropolis was like before Superman came, and it showed what Superman will do for the city in the future, make it better, because here he makes Metropolis seem kind of dirty, kind of mean-spirited, but once Superman comes in, the town's just completely revitalized. Can't wait to read the rest of the half of this in the upcoming year. This is more Jeff Johns love, obviously. Let's move on, I guess. I got nothing else more to say. Number 3 is Batman and Robin. Only 6 issues of this series has come out, but Grant Morrison has proven that he is a master of the writing art. I really didn't care much for Batman after Battle for the Cowl, but once I found out, it's Grant Morrison and Batman, I really did dig his, Batman and Son, Black Glove, and R.I.P., so I was like, I'm going to jump on this now. And this was great. He's able to make a very interesting relationship between Dick and Damian. He's slowly creating interesting villains on this series. And the stories, I love the format they're going with the 3-issue arc stories. The art, Frank Quitely in the beginning was beautiful as always. I love Frank Quitely art. I hope he comes back to the book someday. Then we get to Philip Tan. Now the thing is, the story was okay in the first arc, the first 3 issues, and the art was great. The story was great in the second arc, but the art was terrible. It ranges from anywhere terrible to tolerable. I just don't like Philip Tan's art. You could definitely tell the difference. It's really, really bad to compare. I want to see the next art with Stuart Moore. I want to see more. I'm also very excited for a return of Bruce Wayne, which Grant Morrison's also writing. And let's move on. Number 2 is Greg Rucka, J.J.H. Williams, Detective Comics with Batwoman. Now, when I heard they were doing this, as I said before, I was kind of burnt out with Batman. I picked this up because the art looked good. Greg Rucka's a good writer. I've never read much from him before this, and I just wanted to see how they do. Because I think a lot of people were a little I know a lot of people didn't care about Batwoman before this because it just seemed like they made her I guess you could say a token lesbian character. She didn't seem interesting at all. It was just like, oh, she's around because she's a lesbian. This made her interesting. The first arc was interesting, how that he sets it up and how he sets up basically her Joker. It seems like Alice, and the secret of who Alice is. It's very, very shocking. It's a big twist. And then you see her origin, and he turns it around. He really gives her a very interesting backstory. I guess that's the word I was supposed to use, because I'm stupid. The art, J.H. Williams, is always beautiful art, but here it's just great. The colors are beautiful. Dave Stewart, who's like the only colorist I know of, he's the only colorist I ever hear. And it's great. I love the current arc, which is her origin that they're doing right now, because the parts of the story that take place in the present are the beautiful art we see from J.H. Williams. But when you see the stuff going flashbacks, it seems more like it's kind of like David Mazzucchelli's art in Year One of Batman. It seems it changes, but it still looks great. I think the rumor is that they're going to move from detective to their own into a Batwoman ongoing. Either way, I really do love this. I can't wait to see what more they give me. Okay, number 1, isn't that shocking? Blackest Night. Not just the miniseries, but the entire event crossover as a whole. The miniseries, of course, is just Jeff Johns is one of my favorite writers. This is great to read. From the first issue, it starts out with the day Superman died, with all the dead heroes being honored, and the rings come, and you're just shocked to see who comes back, because it's kind of scary. It's like a horror movie in the DC universe at times. It seems. Jeff Johns does a good job writing stories. The character, it doesn't seem to really get old in my mind. It's fun to read no matter what I'm reading. Ivan Reyes' art, beautiful to look at. I've loved him on Green Lantern. I love him on this. The tie-ins, I've been reading the miniseries at least. I have not, at this moment, I think the only stuff I've read that have been taking place in the regular series is the Booster Gold and the Superman Batman. And those have all been pretty good and okay. And the Rebels tie-in, I've been reading that. This is good. I can't wait to read the end of this in March. I believe it's March. I can't wait to see the aftermath of what happens. I want to see who comes back. I mean, for all we know, everyone could come back, but that seems like way too much to take care of. It doesn't matter. There's so many characters who are alive DC doesn't pay attention to. So that's my list. Odds are some of you may complain. I don't care. So, yeah, that's the end of my list. Happy New Year, people.